Good afternoon, everybody. Ian from RTO here. Hope you're all well, having a good afternoon. Last show of the week, One Hit Wonders, and today we're looking at GTR. GTR are a super progressive rock band founded in 1985 by former Yes and Asia guitarist Steve Howe and former Genesis guitarist Steve Hackett. When Steve Howe left Asia in 1984, he decided he wanted to do something else, so he had a word with former Yes manager Brian Lane, and they discussed forming a group. So Lane approached Steve Hackett, who went, "Yeah, let's have a go at this." So what they wanted to do, they wanted to create a band with sound, using sounds, keyboard, synthesizer, without them, because he'd got very disgruntled, did Mr. Howe, with the keyboards in Yes and Asia. So they went and formed some other people, and they went and found a couple of rather interesting musicians. They went and found Max Bacon, who's an English rock singer, sang with Burn for the Sky, Moby Dick, Nightwing, and he's also sang on the Phenomena, which we've covered before. Jonathan Mover, drummer. You know, he's drummed with Marillion in that period between Mick Pointer and Ian Mosley, but he's also drummed with Alice Cooper, Aretha Franklin, Shakira. He's worked with both Steve Hackett and Steve Howe on their solo projects. Phil Spalding, session bass player, but he's played with Mick Jagger, Seal, OMD, Elton John, Randy Crawford, the list goes on. So they released an album in '86, just called GTR. Now the name GTR comes from the abbreviation of the word guitar, which is used in the studio when they're putting down tracks on things. It's got GTR, so that's how the name come about. So what's on the album? Well, the first track is an absolute corker. It was a single. It's When the Heart Rules the Mind. This is a really good song. Max Bacon's got a great voice. It's my favourite track on the album, and it's got some great guitar work from both Steve Hackett and Steve Howe. Absolutely brilliant track. Then the next track is called The Hunter. This has got a nice mixture from both sort of camps. You've got little bits of Yes, little bits of Asia there, bit of Steve Hackett's solo stuff. Really solid track. Okay, they're all very that 80s sound, of course, but it's not overproduced, which is pretty good. Then we get Here I'll Wait. This has got like a Japanese start and then goes into a nice rocker. Some great rock guitar there. I'm not quite sure who does it. I'm sure it might be a joint effort, but it sounds pretty good. Sketches in the Sun. This is a little short ditty that shows off Steve Howe and Steve Hackett. They are such great guitarists, and working well together they sounded fantastic. Then we have a song called Jekyll and Hyde. Jonathan Mover's drumming in this is really good. Again, he's such a versatile drummer. I mean, the people he's drummed with, you know, from pop to rock to soul, proves what a good drummer is. It's a stunning track, really good beat, and a cracking little tune. You can still get through. This is something that Steve Hackett you'd get on his solo albums, and we've done them. We ranked them not so long ago. Very good track. I think this one is very led by Steve Hackett, but you can tell Steve Howe's parts as well. Really good track. Reach Out, Never Say No. This is a very 80s track with that sound, but well produced, and Max Bacon has got such a great voice. It gives this track a little bit more oomph and it stands out from the rest of the 1980s dirge that was around at that time. Toe the Line. I would say this is probably the weakest track on the album. It's not a bad track. The outstanding bit though is a little bit of Steve Hackett. You know, it goes back to them Genesis days, this solo. It's pastiche. It's really, really good. Then we get a little guitar instrumental called Hackett to Bits. Doesn't have to say much what this is, who wrote this. It's really, really good track. And then we've got Imagining, another good track to end the album with. Solid As You Like. And this album, I remember buying it. I think I just brought it because I saw Steve Howe and Steve Hackett. For the time it was come out, which is 86, it's a little bit dated, I grant you, but it was, at the time, it was absolutely a brilliant album. And for that reason, I'm giving it an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, that's not where the story ends though. Obviously they went and toured with it. There is an album. It's not an official album, but it's an album, the King Biscuit Hour series. But we'll talk about that at another day, because I shall be talking about live albums that come out by other that are not official. But that's another show in a couple of weeks' time. And they started putting down some songs for a follow-up album, which they was going to call Nero Trend. Now, I did know about these tracks, and for many, many years I trolled the internet and all the record fairs of, you know, bootlegs and all sorts, and I finally found it. Hence the cover here. I think it's there, I don't know, somewhere around me. And I found these tracks. Now, I'm going to put the lot in a playlist for you guys to have a listen to. In fact, I think I'm going to put both albums in the playlist today. Now, if you listen to the Nitro Trend, some of the recordings are pretty bad because I don't know where they come from, but I've got them. I've tried to clean them up the best I can, but they are worth listening to. So the first track, basically it's the same band, but there's two singers. There's Max Bacon and there's also Robert Berry. So they did versions of each song. So Hungry Warrior is the first track. This is no running order as such, but this is how they turn out. Hungry Warrior, its vocals were Max Bacon. Solid track. Max Bacon is still a fantastic singer. Then we get Away. Some nice touches of work from Steve Howe here. You can tell when he's playing guitar and stuff, and Max sings on that. Young Hearts, good track. Then we get Listen to the People. The production on this is pretty poor, obviously, but yeah, you can tell if this had been put down in a proper studio, it'd have been a fantastic track. Running with the Human Race. This is my favourite track off this never released album. Great. The quality isn't brilliant again, but that's not the fault of these guys. It is a great track. Nice guitar work from Steve Howe. Great drumming from Jonathan Mover. Then we got This World's Big Enough. Another solid track. Max Bacon's vocal, even in this bootleg demo version, pretty good. Sharp on Attack. This is an instrumental. Steve Hackett all over it. Then we get Young Hearts again, but it's sung by Robert Berry. Now, out of the two singers, Max Bacon's got a much powerful voice. Robert Berry's a very good singer, but he's not. On Young Hearts, Max Bacon is fantastic. Endless Nights, another good solid track. Then These Eyes. This actually sounds like Mike and the Mechanics. It's a pretty good track. Loneliness, nice tune. Young Blood, nice guitar work from Steve Howell on this. You can't do that. Not very, very good. So that was the unreleased album. I'm not going to rank it. I just thought I'd tell you guys about it. So I'm going to put it in the playlist, but the tracks are there on YouTube as well. So that's all for this week. Bank holiday weekend, but that doesn't stop us not doing anything on Monday. We'll be back on Monday, and we'll be doing Supertramp. Now, someone pointed out when I put up the schedule that I didn't split the word Supertramp up, and I looked at it and went, oops. So I do apologise for the little misspelling there. Busy week, yes, this week. And then in the afternoon we're looking at the album Burn by Deep Purple, and as I've got the 30th anniversary version, we'll be looking at some of the little bit extras that was put on for that. So whatever you're doing on this bank holiday weekend, have a great time, and I will see you all on Monday. Take care for now.